No, I got it.
All right, great.
All right, we were doing a pre-show, and then I got so angry with Phil, we're just going to go right into the show.
It's gonna be
And
wild.
we're going to go out of order. I named 5 sports stories, and you didn't know about a single one of them.
To be fair, I did know about the
and
NFL
you
draft.
described them as under the radar.
I described when you were talking about side stories.
Giannis losing. You didn't know anything about. That's not a side story.
I didn't say that was a side story.
That was one of the ones.
I said that some of them were. You asked me if I paid attention to how many players weren't wearing shirts. I said
that isn't even what I said. I said, did you notice the outfits for every player that was picked when they showed his highlights? They would have him in like this gray vest thing, or
with
a jacket
underneath.
with no shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I meant.
But if you watched the draft, you saw at least one player get picked.
I did.
But what the?
I'm not really paying attention to what they're wearing.
You're not. It literally is the only thing on the screen. It showed the player, showed his stats, and he's standing there.
Well, I did have 2 different streams going on at once, so.
Okay. You also didn't notice any of the draft rooms.
I told you I did notice some of the rooms. I didn't pay attention to like the tables and things that were in there.
It's in the room.
I'm sorry.
What do you mean? Goes back to Anthony pointed out. He goes, I thought it was hilarious when we were talking to Ohio State last week, and you just kept going, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, which I know you don't.
Yeah,
it's just funny that you kept saying, yeah, you know I don't pay attention to Ohio State, but anyway.
Let's keep it going.
You don't know. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Now we'll start the show how we wanted. What?
I'm just looking at the levels.
Yeah, well, it looks loud. This happened before with James, and then it turned out to be fine.
Well, I didn't know that.
Do you want to stop the show? Hold on. Let me ask my question.
Oh.
Do you want me to stop the show and play it so we can test it real quick, and then we can go right back into it?
That's up to you.
Is that what you want?
That's up to you.
Is that what you want from me?
It's your show.
Answer the question.
It's your show.
It is, thank you for that, but the point is, do you want me to check, or are you that concerned?
I'm not concerned anymore because now it's the screensaver, so now we're just going to live our lives.
Oh my god, alright. Jesus Christ.
Just let it go.
No, it's fine.
Let it go.
We'll stop real quick. We'll stop real quick.
It's fine.
It's fine. Or I can just leave they'll figure it out. Anyway, the sound's fine. The sound's completely fine.
Yeah, that was on me.
Yep, it was. So James
I told you could keep going.
Yeah, but you bring it up. I'm going to okay. James made that mistake and now you've made that mistake.
That's
so it's fine.
I'll make that mistake.
Will you make it again?
We'll see.
Okay.
Probably.
3 Dot News. We put out our first clip of a show recently. We did the prank call from not really a prank call, an investigative call.
Yeah, it was a great clip.
You and I did last week. It's like 2 minutes. It's on our Twitter, our Instagram at 3 Dot Podcast. It's also a YouTube short now.
I still think that guy was up to something.
We might call him again.
We might have to.
But that's up there, and that YouTube short got more views in the first 30 minutes than the full episode. So just because it's a smaller size.
Right.
So I think we'll start doing more clips of shows and put them out as we go. Also, I'm going to start clipping the older shows like I talked about. But this was kind of a test run. And since it did well, we'll continue going forward with that. And it also is easier to share if someone's like, well, what kind of stuff's on the show? Just send them that clip. You don't have to just be like, hey, listen to an hour and hopefully you like something. Yeah. Just send them the clips that we're going to put out. If you don't,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. We also set a goal for merch on our Twitter, so you can keep up with us there at 3 Dot Podcast. We got a couple people on that account that keeps it somewhat active. But if we get 50 subscribers, we are going to give out some free merch to people, the early dots, and then probably maybe the top 2 people who show that they've shared it. Like if you send an email to 3dotpodcast@gmail or text one of us, because,
Right. And keep an eye out for 3 Dot Grudgely on Twitter.
We'll see 2 things. We'll get to that. Jesus Christ. Son of a bitch. No, let's just do that now. So I sent you a clip on Twitter, and I know you said you don't have Twitter anymore, right?
Correct.
So I say, why don't you make a fake Twitter? And I literally said, I don't know who some of them are. I've said that many times because people have made Twitters to follow 3 Dot.
Right.
So 2 things with that. One, you say Garagely, which is a Pineapple Express reference to when Seth Rogen is in the garage, and he's like, go get in a room under assumed name, looks around, Garagely. And great reference to a great movie. With you there. Has nothing to do with 3 Dot.
It doesn't.
There's a Vermont Carl account. There's a couple of other ones that aren't related to 3 Dot, but you're on the show. I think you could come up with a character. I've listed characters on other episodes that people should do. And then I say, I say that to you in a text, and your next text is 3.garagely. Missing the point of what I was saying. That's not a character. That's just adding our name to Garagely. Third issue is now you said, look out for 3.Garagely, which means people would know it's you.
Well, you can look out for it. Doesn't mean it's going to come.
Okay, so they'll just search Garagely every day and maybe one day it'll show up?
I mean, if you search Garagely, a lot of different things will come up.
But now you can't be that name. Because then you burned yourself there.
It's fine. I'll burn that. I'll burn myself.
Okay, you'll make that mistake. You'll burn that down. Okay,
I'll burn that bridge. So if there's any confusion, do not look out for 3.Garagely.
You never should have.
With 2 E's. There may be one with 3 E's. Easy.
Go ahead. No, just keep going. You're killing it.
That was it.
What's been up with you? Anything new you want to talk about, need to talk about?
Not a whole lot. Just fired up as a Lions fan.
I had a rude experience with a carryout employee recently.
What carryout?
In Waterville, next to Tano's.
Yes.
Okay. So I've gone there many times, and there's a praying mantis that works there. Guy's just tall, looks like a praying mantis.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean a bug just running the register.
Well, good for the bug, though.
That would be great for him. But I've seen him there a lot. Because if we...
How do you know it's a man praying mantis?
Anyway, so we go and we...
Did you ask it?
Will you shut the hell up? I've had it with you already.
This is the best show
we get cheese bread, we'll go to Tano's. Like, I'll make a special trip out there just because that's our favorite place to get it from. So... I go out there, and usually I'll buy, like, a soda or something at the carryout, grab the pizza, go home. And so I've seen this guy plenty of times. Nice guy, quiet guy. He's always wearing Patriots gear, which is a little weird, but, whatever.
It's bold that you put that out there.
But this time I go, and I had, all I had on me was 50s. And a lot of places won't break that anymore. They want smaller bills. But I was like, I got this extra money and cash. I'll get one of bigger scratch offs, like a $20 one or a $30 one. So I get the sodas and stuff with the card, and I was like, you know what, I'll do this anyway because I got the cash. Can I get a number 20 or whatever it is? He gets it, he walks over, he goes, sure, and throws it. He flings the scratch off towards me, and it falls on the ground. And I literally I pick it up, I'm just looking at him, he's just looking down, runs the register, and he goes, all right, see ya, walks away. I don't know what the hell happened.
What a joke.
Everything was cordial. Everything was fine up until then. And then I don't know if it's a scratch-off issue with him.
You know what you need to do.
Because it was 2 separate transactions. I don't know what his problem was.
A Google review. That'll let him know.
That would be great. And then we could have James come and...
Yes.
I should start posting Google reviews. And then be like, James, you should check out this place's reviews. We're kind of crazy. And see if he ends up picking mine.
And I have a great name that you could use for it.
Is it Garagely?
It is Garagely.
Oh, my God. Get off the Garagely thing.
It's a great name.
No, I thought that was very strange. And little did I know that was going to lead me down a line of unfortunate checkout experiences. Because then the next day, I'm at Kroger, the one right over here by my house. Mm-hmm. Not the other 2 that you named when I said that before the show, but the one right here. And there's only one checkout available at the time. And I had a couple different things, but I didn't grab a basket because I'm going to be in and out. So my hands are full. And I'm sitting there waiting, and there's this guy, and he's trying to buy like a case of beer, right?
Yep.
And he's trying to pay for it, but it has the ID check. And there's not an employee right there. So he keeps trying to put his card in, and it keeps not working because he needs the ID check. So then the person comes over, and he's like, I'm trying to buy... He's getting mad at the employee. He's like, if this thing's not working, I'm trying to pay. And then he's like, well, do you have your ID? Oh, no. Why do I need my... Dude starts going off, and I'm 10 minutes, I end up sending my stuff on the ground and just standing there staring at him. And then eventually his friend, who was also in the store somewhere, this whole time this guy's checking out, his other friend is walking around, he comes up, and he tries to use his ID, and they didn't let him because it was a different person trying to buy it. So then they both go out, they leave their stuff there, and the employee tells me, just wait 1 minute, they'll be back. I'm sitting there with 5 items on the ground. And And then the dude, and now at this point, there's like 20 people, or 20,
nerve.
there's like 10 people behind me in line.
You hold on.
Yeah, exactly. So when they eventually get it, I'm just like, what the hell? This was back-to-back days. So
were all the other self-checkouts? Just
only one was working
Oh,
at the time. It was later at night. So yeah, exactly.
Weak.
Which then led me to another unfortunate Kroger experience. This time I'm with Haley. This was last night. And we just had to get one thing. And then this was in Maumee. And all 6 checkouts are being used. But they don't have any of the employee-run ones working. It's all self-checkout at this point.
I've seen that numerous times.
Yeah, at a certain time they just do
right.
that. And every single person has like 20 or 30 items. And what pisses me off is like at Walmart especially, self-checkout's for a quick thing. And now people just bring full carts or 2 carts I've even seen. And they self-checkout. And this one lady was trying to balance it. Like, she thought you couldn't put your stuff back in the cart after you scanned it. So she's sitting there with like bags on top of other bags and they're falling down. And it was just chaos. Society is breaking down all around us. That's been a theme of this show. But if you have more than 10 items, get the fuck out of the self-checkout. That's my main issue here.
That is bold.
This other guy had like 20 different fruits.
Get the fuck out of this.
So he has to look up each fruit because it doesn't have like barcodes on it.
I've done that before.
Right, but did you have 20 different ones?
No, I didn't.
Were you at self-checkout?
I will say that there's been times where Lauren has assigned me to go and get like 7 different ones that I'm going to have to look up.
Fruits?
Fruits and veggies.
Why is she eating so much fruit?
We put vegetables in damn near every single meal that we make.
Well, you're supposed to, right?
Yeah, we
that's
do.
kind of a thing.
Right.
Oh, by the way, you
guess.
said before the show you got breakfast with her dad.
Yeah.
Is that a common thing?
Yeah.
Just you and him?
Most Saturdays. Well, Lauren's out of town. Bachelorette party.
Bachelorette party.
She is not a bachelorette.
Well, thank you. I picked up on that. You guys have been married. I was at the wedding.
Claire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
They are in Traverse City.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people go there for that.
Yeah. We went there for just like a weekend trip. That was a ball. I want to go back.
Yeah, I've heard it's really nice up there. So
we should go right now. You and me. We'll have a good time. Rent a cabin.
You want to go to Traverse City right now?
Yeah.
Why?
What
would? Oh, okay.
Why not?
Okay. So you 3 usually go to breakfast. You, Lauren, and her dad.
Yes.
But if she's out of town, you and him still go?
Yeah, we'll still go.
Interesting.
Yeah. We built that bond.
No, yeah, that's fine. I just, when you said that, and you made it sound like it was just you two, I was like, huh, that's a thing.
I'm not going to lie, it's only this is like the 2nd or 3rd time that it's been just
Uncomfortable
us.
at all?
No, now it's not.
The first time?
It would have been like, I think there was a couple times where it's like when we were dating, we might have maybe like done it like once or twice.
Right.
And that was just kind of like, oh gosh.
What do you guys talk about? Not the NFL draft or Giannis, apparently.
Today, that's all it was.
What? NFL
draft.
Then how
the whole time.
Okay.
We're talking about different players, different draft classes.
Well,
what teams
we'll do that.
What.
Don't you worry.
Well, I'm sure we will, but
I had a different question about that, but now I can't remember. Oh, by the way, my bachelor party.
Yes.
Why do you sound excited?
Why wouldn't I be excited?
Are there already plans? I'm not in that group.
No, there's not. I know you're not in that group. We're going to a saltine factory.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Isn't it going to be a great time?
Has everyone in the group answered?
That I've seen, yeah.
Like every single number in there?
I'll be honest, I didn't do that deep of a dive.
Well, then how the hell would you say that you know? Do it right now.
All right,
I'm just curious because
right
when I asked James and Murph about it, they were like, yeah, 2 people haven't responded yet. I'm like, well, shit, that's kind of an issue. And you were one of them. They filled in the answer right away.
Oh, I responded fairly quick.
Also, we're not going to go deep in this while you look this up, but James Harden slapped someone. But I watched the video. Not a big deal. He gave him a little love tap. It happens. Handle your business. I also don't think he should be suspended at all, but I feel like that's something where, like, in today's day and age, it would be like any sort of physical altercation.
Right.
Social media.
Right.
I'm just going to do that because I had it on my list, but I don't really care about it while you look this up. It's taken an
It looks
extraordinary
like,
amount of time.
counting me, it looks like there's 4 of us that have responded.
What the shit? They made it sound like everyone did.
Counting me, there's 7 of us. So it sounds like
Right.
there's 3 that didn't. It looks like there's 3.
Let me
I can't show you.
Why? You said there's no plans yet.
Because I can't show you.
Okay. Gambling update. Been hot on NBA. Been picking games. I've done 3 parlays. My last 3 parlays have all hit. Been nailing
Nice.
spreads and money lines. The one I do regret is the NFL draft. I almost bet Stroud to be number 2 overall. And my buddy Brady texted me. He said, I'm betting Stroud to go 1. Because it was like crazy odds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was tempted, and I almost did it again, and then I didn't do it. And sure enough, it goes number 2. I got scared by the media hype that was saying, he's going to fall.
I got the first 4 right, and I was thinking the same exact thing.
With your mock draft?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the first 4 right, and I was thinking about doing the same thing with 2 of them. And I didn't. And I was like, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
So you had Young, Stroud, who went 3?
Anderson.
They traded up. That's
Yep.
right.
And A-Rich.
Buckeyes did well. 3 first
Oh,
rounders.
yeah, they did.
Stroud at number 2, obviously. Paris Johnson, the Cardinals traded up to get him at 6. And Jackson Smith and Jigba.
20 to Seattle.
Was it 20? Okay.
Yep.
I know we went to Seattle. And we'll do more of this when we get to the full draft thing, or we could just do that now. The Seahawks, holy shit, wide receiver room. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and now JSN.
Yeah,
That's
a
crazy
stacked
room. Also, the Texans. What do you think of moving up like that? It was a lot to give up for that pick.
It was, but I thought it was pretty sweet.
I think more teams should just be like, all right, well, if you're the Texans, you basically advanced your rebuild by 2 years, in my opinion, because you got your quarterback, and then you got arguably the best defensive player in the draft, maybe the top player in the draft.
Yeah.
So you got both sides of the ball, and if you pick just Stroud or just Anderson, you're probably in the same pick next year, and then you're hoping to get one of those guys you didn't get.
Exactly.
So instead, you got them both this year, and now you go from there.
Yeah, and you just lose like a couple. I think it was like a third next year in addition to the first.
Right,
and
which the first is
maybe
big.
A second. But
And I saw, I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast and his post-draft coverage. He was like, well, they could be so bad that pick's a top 3 pick again or whatever. And it's like, maybe, but you can't. Okay, so instead you delay it another year.
Right.
Hope they're good. Maybe have a coach fired in the meantime. Maybe lose Stroud or whatever. Like, why not do it both in this year and maybe improve, and then if you want to trade for a pick, trade for, do the same thing next year if you have to.
And when I saw that they were the ones who traded up for 3, because I was hoping that Detroit would possibly trade up to 3 to get Will Anderson. So when I saw that it was Houston again, like, my jaw dropped, because I've never seen...
That never happens.
No, never happens. Especially that... I've seen them go back-to-back, but that's, like, in the later rounds.
Right.
I've never seen it happen in the
Especially
first.
to pick second and then be like, nope, we're running
We're
it back
going
right
back
now.
And that was fascinating, because you heard beforehand that DeMeco Ryans, the head coach, wanted a defensive player.
Yeah, that was kind of what Simmons also talked about. He said, I feel like the owner or the GM, one of the two, really wanted the quarterback. The coach really wanted the defensive guy, and they probably came up with...
You know what? Let's do both.
Yeah, it was like... Well,
yeah, it's wild.
I also thought it was interesting. You've done the same thing with Ohio State quarterbacks. You just have that in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Day has produced 3 straight first-round quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Day was an NFL quarterbacks coach. He was a great coordinator.
Refresh my memory. Fields,
Haskins.
Stroud. Oh, yeah, Haskins was first round, wasn't he? Okay.
But with those guys, like, national coverage, I feel like has the same thought you do. Because, like, Simmons was like, yeah, I don't like C.J. Stroud. And then they barely talked about him. They went in-depth with everyone else. And anyone I listened to kind of had the same thing. It's like, this dude, say what you want, accuracy-wise, is arguably one of the best quarterbacks coming out in the last few years of throwing the ball. And he's in a pass-first offense. Hopefully not this year for Ohio State. But in the last few years, it's been pass-first. And I just think he's a really dynamic player, and obviously I'm biased, but I don't think there was ever should have been a question that he was 1 or 2. I mean, I think that was the only debate was, do you take him 1?
I mean, in your defense, Stroud is the most. I would feel most comfortable taking Stroud as opposed to the other 2.
And Young, I didn't realize he was that small. Like that's sort of what they were talking about.
He is a small quarterback, that's for sure.
Will Levis.
Yeah.
Why
Levis took a big
or Levis?
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Levis?
Yeah.
Okay. He shouldn't have even been in the green room. I mean, the fact that the media hyped this dude up so much, but anyone who watched him at all during the year or even just looked at, stats, he was never that guy.
The thing is,
that was never a thing.
The green room has turned into anybody that could even possibly maybe be a first round pick.
Yeah, but only
after
the first round, only 3 guys were left.
I know.
So I mean,
there weren't a lot.
I just thought it was crazy that he was ever talked about with that much hype. Also, he puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I know this joke's been said, but I don't even think it's a joke. If you are putting mayonnaise in your coffee, I don't think you can be a first-round pick.
I don't want you to be my starting quarterback.
I don't. There's nothing.
You're supposed to demand the respect of the team.
This is judgmental, but he just looks like an odd guy. He doesn't look like someone that would be a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised that he was there, and when it kept going on, and Mel Kiper kept talking about how he's the best quarterback, in this class. Kiper, I hate Kiper. I've been doing every draft. I do research. I'm like, but he invented mocks. They say, that's how he got started. But he just created that position. He has no real basis for any of this. He's been wrong many times, and you're eventually going to be right. But he's been wrong much more, and when he's wrong, he's way wrong. And I think this Will Levis thing. He kept talking about it, and it's also great because McShay clearly hates Kiper's guts.
Right.
When they do the show together, I do too. But when they do the show together, it's so great because McShay just throws jabs. You can tell he hates him. So much.
The thing that irritates me, and it's something that this year especially hit me, it's just it's all these analysts who are drawing up these mock drafts who have never played a day of football in their life. And they're like, these guys are going to go here. These guys are going to go here. Oh, you took this guy way too soon. Says who?
Right.
Well, you should have taken him in the 6th round. You took him in the 3rd. Says who?
Going into that, Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs. Thoughts?
That was so at first.
At the end of their draft, I saw people saying, well, if you pretend that they picked the corner first.
Yep. If you switched up the order, I was good with it. And so it's...
Why going so high for Jahmyr Gibbs?
What my only guess is the fact that, and this is my brother-in-law put it this way, because he's a Lions fan too. You know TJ.
Yeah.
So TJ was because he's a Lions fan, and he said,
"Wait, who? TJ.
Played basketball with him.
Softball.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Oh.
I do.
Rude. I love you, TJ, if you listen to them. So anyway,
does he? Have you shared it with him?
No, I can't say.
And how would he listen to it?
I don't know. You might come across as short.
I actually don't have a problem with TJ, but that's true. I don't have a problem with TJ, except there's a few times after basketball was over, after we were done there, I saw him in public, and he just would walk by or be like, "Hey," and that was it. And I'd be trying to talk to him.
Yeah, that's weird.
Snubbed me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Fuck him. Go ahead.
Anyways, so with Gibbs, at first I was like, all right, that was bold. I didn't mind the trade back from 6 to 12. I didn't mind it, and but then I'm just like, man, I mean, if he's at the top of your draft, he's at the top of your draft. But TJ had said, he's like, yeah, but when you look at it, he said, in a way, Gibbs is a lot of things that Swift isn't. You can move Gibbs around quite a bit. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And in a way, he's obviously not a receiver, but you could use him in a lot of the gadget plays. They were
talking about that. He could even be a slot guy.
Yeah, you can use him in a lot of gadget plays that maybe you were trying to use Jamison Williams in, but he's suspended for the first 6 weeks.
That's interesting. That's true. You kind of get a hybrid and fill in for Jamison until he's back.
And I heard they're trying to... Swift could very likely be traded today because there was a lot of...
Who did you hear? Who was your source?
Online. I read
a couple stories that
multiple teams have reached out to the Lions about.
Basically, as soon as they got Gibbs, people
Yeah,
were like,
exactly. He's out. So I didn't mind it. So I didn't mind that.
My issue with the swap thing, where like if you switched order of the picks,
Yeah.
then you're basically saying, all right, this corner that we got in the 4th round should have been our first.
Right.
That still doesn't
No,
value wise. Gibbs, I think he's a fine player. I just thought it was weird because you already have 2
Right.
veteran guys, or,
Right.
somewhat. But also, it's interesting because you could kind of, like you said, use Gibbs in that way, the gadget, plug in. But also, you're not putting a lot of miles on him year 1.
Right.
He's 3rd down back or whatever.
Right.
And then try to get some capital for Swift or whatever, and
Right.
then he's your guy. I don't hate that either.
Yeah, and I don't either. But yeah, the more, and people were like, well, you could have gotten him later. But then I read a few things.
Maybe you wouldn't have though.
I read a few things that apparently some teams, and apparently this is more common than I knew, but like teams will reach out to other teams and like give them props or like say we were about to take them.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently between 12 and 18, there were numerous teams that reached out and said, yeah, if you guys didn't take them, we were going to take them.
I believe that. I think both Bijan Robinson and Gibbs were worthy of 1st round. I think it's kind of crazy they still talk like you can't take a running back 1st round.
Right.
That's become such a thing.
Right.
And it's like,
and they're like, you don't want to give him the 5th year option. I'm like, why not?
Why not? Yeah, exactly. I also thought it was interesting because tight ends are the same way, and a tight end went off the board, and it wasn't Notre Dame's Michael Mayer. It was that other dude,
Kincaid.
Yeah. No, I thought the Lions were fine. It was a little weird, but I think Gibbs is good enough to where it might be, worth that pick. Other winners, I thought the Seahawks just pick a JSN and already add into that offense, and they got the corner too, right? Didn't they pick a corner?
Sounds right. I can look it up.
Yeah, please do. But like the Seahawks are one of those teams that are constantly like rebuilding on the fly. Like they have a very young team. They got a Geno Smith isn't a horrible quarterback. I'm not ever gonna say he's a top guy, but if you have Metcalf, Lockett, and JSN along with Kenneth Walker, you have a young offense with a ton of weapons, and there's not a lot of pressure on Geno. It's just to make easy throws.
Devin Witherspoon, they took him at 5.
That's what. Okay, yep. I knew. Yep. I was trying to think because I was getting him mixed up with the guy the Patriots took.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Seahawks got a great young corner and a great wide receiver, and they took a great running back last year. Like they're right there.
I think that the Lions would have taken Witherspoon if the Seahawks didn't.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were talking that they need secondary help.
I thought
all of their picks were linebacker, running back, and they got the corner late, but
they got Branch. They got the Alabama guy.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, and I don't know if I love that. It's value what you need. But
the only reason I like it is because he plays like a lot of his stuff. He came up and played almost like a linebacker and would like rush the quarterback, or he can play safety
kind of that hybrid
whatever.
Position.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think the Texans are a winner, regardless of what they gave up. You get arguably, potentially, the top 2 players of the draft. You do that every time. I feel like
even if it's 2 of the top 5, that's a win.
And Carter fell out of that top 5 that he was only interviewing for.
And that was going to be a team that I said that I think you can argue that they won the Eagles because dude they took Jordan Davis last year,
right?
And now they have Jalen Carter. If Jalen Carter keeps his head on straight,
the Eagles go off that Georgia defense.
No one's running on that team,
right?
And at least up the middle,
right? And Carter's got a little pass rush to him too. Not that Davis doesn't, but Davis is more of a run stopper. I feel like where Carter. I mean, any other draft? Because I was going to talk about the draft fits.
I was.
In the draft rooms, but
yes,
you didn't,
I mean, we can.
No,
I was excited / surprised, but so the Lions GM Brad Holmes said that he was going to take a quarterback at some point in the draft, and so when they took Hendon Hooker in the 3rd,
that's right, you guys got Hooker.
I was pumped. I was like, sweet.
He's old.
He is 25. 25.
Yeah, I know he's younger than this guy was, but I just was like Brandon Weeden.
I'm not gonna lie, that crossed my mind.
Yeah, but Brandon Weeden, first round, that was the
Right.
craziest. That's one of the craziest picks of all time.
Yeah,
was taking
that was
a
wild.
28-year-old
Yeah.
rookie quarterback in the first round.
And I mean, I could see it. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see, because a lot of people were saying that Hooker would have went in the first round if he didn't tear his ACL. I mean,
still don't
possible,
think so.
but I don't know. But I could see them training him up for the next 2 years, because that's how much longer Goff is on contract for.
And that's the ideal thing
right.
to do, is pick a project, see what happens.
Right. And I'm like, dude, if that works out like that,
and then you get 3 years of him, and then he's out of the league.
Exactly. Right. Perfect. Work him till he's 30, and then
the one
then
thing
good.
about the draft rooms, I know you said you didn't pay attention, but it was just funny because, like, the Jets, this last few years have been kind of a laughing stock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They have, like, just fold out tables, like, just cheap looking tables. I mean, like, the Eagles have more of, like, a wood thing, and then the Cowboys had, like, an evil lair, where it's literally just all dark. A desk around the camera with Jerry Jones right in the middle, and above him, the only light was this blue lit up star from the Cowboys. It was just hilarious. Cause it literally comes on, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
All right, guys, we're going to the Roar Room.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is like becoming a full supervillain now.
Well, when that stadium is so insane,
yeah,
you're gonna have something like that.
Yeah, it was just funny to look at. Also, two things going back to the college level. A lot of people said, "Oh, Ohio State had 3 first-rounders and couldn't win anything." Just trolling.
Right.
But it's like, they were 1 game away and 3 points away.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama had the top quarterback, number 1 pick, and the number 3 pick, the top defensive player, and they didn't win either, but people don't make those same arguments.
Right.
It was just kind of, I was like, they had literally the top 3 picks, 2 of them.
And that I heard people say that when they were asking me, what do you think about Lions taking that running back? I was like, I don't know. But then other people were like, dude, if Alabama didn't have Gibbs, they would not have been
right.
where
it was
they were
a
at.
Georgia Tech guy too, right? And transferred to Alabama.
I'll look it up.
Don't look it up. I know that's right.
Good for you.
Also, Ohio State early projections supposed to have 7 first-rounders next year. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's really
That
crazy.
is crazy.
I think that's high. I do realistically think it could be 5, because you'll have Marvin Harrison Jr., who probably he's a wide receiver, but I think he'll be top 5. You'll have Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, potentially first round. You have 2 potentially defensive ends coming out. You have a corner coming out. I mean, there's a lot of talent coming out of this room.
And like you said, like it can vary, but all it takes is one fluke injury or one fluke year, and be like,
too.
well, they're going to be a 4th-round pick. If it would have came out last year, he would have been a 1st-round pick.
Right,
But,
exactly. NBA playoffs. We'll just go quick because I know you didn't pay attention to that either.
Sixers advanced.
Yes, they did. And the Celtics struggled to
I know.
put away the Hawks, which was interesting, especially once the Bucks go down. If you're the Celtics, who's supposed to be this top team,
Which I was kind of, granted, I don't watch regular season NBA, but I'm just surprised because the Celtics have never really been a front runner.
yeah, it's on paper they should be just talent. You know what I mean? Like Tatum,
Jason
Brown.
Yeah, right.
White, Smart. Horford's old, but he's still a veteran guy. But it was just crazy because then you would have had a chance to face the Sixers with maybe not Embiid for game 1.
Possibly, yeah. With that
And
sprain.
instead you let the Hawks steal one and delay, and Embiid could get healthy. Also, the Kings live, which I did the Lakers to win and the Grizzlies to beat the spread, or the Kings to beat the spread.
What was the spread?
It was like 10 points against the Warriors.
Oh, like Warriors were favored?
Yeah.
Was it at Oracle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was sitting
that's
there.
a lot of points in a playoff game.
I've been nailing those because like the last couple weeks, there's been a lot of like 10, 11 point spreads. Like the Bucks had one against the Heat that was like 13 points. So I'm like, I'm gonna take the Heat to at least make it close.
I've never fallen in love with like a basketball player more than Jimmy Butler since he
we'll
left
get
the
to that in a
Sixers.
second. But I thought it was interesting because I was worried. I bet that because I thought the Kings would be close, but I did think the Warriors would put them away. But now it's 3-3. I want
Is it in Sacramento? It's going to be in Sacramento.
I think so, yeah. So I want, and Fox is, healthy or not, who knows. I want the Warriors to win because I want Lakers-Warriors. Like, just let's run it back with LeBron, Curry, Draymond, all that. But I love this Kings team. I just love Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox.
And I'm the same exact way.
And I hate Sabonis, but I like watching someone I hate on a team I like. Like, it's fun for me. I do. So I'm split on what I want, but I think I want the Kings to win.
Right.
I don't want the War. I just hate the Warriors more than I want the story.
Because you know me, I love the Warriors, but I'm just like, dude, the Kings haven't been this good for so long.
I know.
So
it's exciting and it's fun, and De'Aaron Fox is new blood in there.
Right.
Like, I like it a lot. So to get to your Butler point, the Bucks lose. Bucks are a 1 seed. They lose in 5 to the Heat, who limped into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they were struggling.
Playing, weren't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they didn't look good either.
No, they didn't.
They have Kevin Love dragging his body around there.
The corpse of Kevin Love.
Exactly.
Hurling up an occasional 3.
So I have... no, it doesn't. I watched one of the games. He shot like 3 in a row and missed all 3. And I think Jimmy Butler was going to shank him on the sideline. Dude, first of all, Butler talks so much shit during the game. I know. It's incredible.
But he backs it up.
That's what I'm saying.
What's great.
And it is like this, the playoff Heat are just different. Where Butler's just like, you know what? I'm getting 56. I'm going for 50 tonight.
That wasn't enough. I'm getting 60.
So 2 questions. Is Giannis a failure? And is Butler a god?
I wouldn't say...
I will say Giannis's quote, I thought it was horrible. The reporter asked, do you consider this season a failure? And he goes on this whole thing about how Michael Jordan played 15 seasons, he only won 6, so the rest of it was a failure. First of all, in a way, yeah. Like, if you're going just black and white, the goal is to win a championship, then you failed.
Right.
Like, but taking that aside, you were a 1 seed.
Right.
It wouldn't be a failure if you lost in the second round.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be a failure if you lost in the championship. You almost got swept. You lost in 5 to a play-in 8 seed who has 1 player.
Exactly. I was going to say Jimmy Butler and
just
role
kicked your ass. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And he let you know it, and you knew that it was Jimmy.
He told you what was going to happen while down 10. Dude, that was the craziest shit. Is they're down 15, and Butler's like, I own you.
Yep.
I'm coming. And
dude, down 16 points, and they come back. And at
that point, he was talking shit. He was already saying, like, no, I'm coming. We're winning this game.
And that buzzer beater, that was oh my God. It was designed for somebody else.
And then
Jimmy said, no, I'm going to be the one who gets the alley-oop and puts it in.
I thought it was crazy, too, because, like, he did shove that dude. Like, to catch it, like, straight up shoved him. But I also, like, not calling him that spot, because he still has to make the shot.
Right,
it was still a crazy, angle and everything. But Jimmy Butler...
less than a half of a second, I think.
And, well, no. There was, like, 3 seconds, right? Because then Grayson Allen dribbled it out at the end.
Was that it? Because I thought it was that... He dribbled it out at the end of
the next game.
OT. Because Butler's shot put it into overtime.
I was thinking it was 2 separate games. Grayson Allen, by the way.
I forgot that he was even in the league.
One of the worst instances of time management. We're in a playoffs right now where Steph Curry called a timeout with no timeouts left, and they still won the game. And Grayson Allen still had the worst time management of the playoffs. Grayson Allen catches the ball with 3 seconds left, dribbles back to back, and then tries to Euro step with a second left, and doesn't even get it off, and throws it over the rim. If you're Giannis, you have to have that ball, right? Like, you have to be taking that shot, or Drew, or Middleton, someone.
Right.
Why the fuck would you ever have Grayson Allen taking that shot?
I don't know.
Butler wouldn't let that happen.
No.
Butler would have taken the ball from him.
And now that you say that, I think that's my beef with Giannis, is that he just has no jump shot.
Well, that's the thing. Is like a year ago, he would do it more. He was taking more jump shots.
Right.
This year, no, that's non-existent.
Mm-hmm. He needs to develop a jump shot for me, like, because I get it. I agree. He's one of the top players in the league, but it's like for how much praise he gets, like, oh, they have Giannis, he's gonna win the whole thing. I'm like, he can't shoot. He doesn't shoot the ball.
Right.
I think you need to be able to shoot the ball.
Right.
In order to be praised as that guy.
And I don't like how often he does it, but like Embiid developed that.
Yeah.
He was like, if they're gonna play so far off me and plug the middle, I'm gonna have to at least make them honor it.
And I've never like watching the Sixers. I'm like, dude, he's 7 whatever, and I'm like, and he Euro steps all the time. I'm like, that's wild.
Right. No, I do think it's crazy that they lost. I think he was just like emotional in that spot. Didn't want to say it was a failure, but I think if he had that one back,
he knows it was a failure.
It has to be.
Right. And I get it. Jimmy's a monster. Right. But you're a 1 seed, and they played.
And you're
into the
arguably
tournament.
the best player in the world, and have been for a couple years.
Yep.
That can't happen.
Right. You want that title, you have to beat them. You have to beat them the way that they beat you.
You have any other NBA takes? Or NFL draft takes?
No.
Okay.
Not, do you?
No, it was just the way you said it. No.
I was just sitting and thinking on it. One that was...
Hold on. Who do you think is going to win East and West, and who do you think wins it all? Just based off right now.
I'd have to pay more attention.
Stop saying that.
I know.
Just give
an
answer.
Screw it. Let's go with the Warriors.
Warriors win it all?
They're going to shock the world.
What
are they, a 6 seed?
Maybe? I don't.
I think
it'd have to be.
Like that.
Who do you have coming out of East? Your Sixers?
I love Philly. I can never pick them because they always choke at some point.
Yeah, but Ben Simmons isn't there anymore.
You're right. He isn't there anymore.
The Nets.
The
Knicks?
Jealously, yes. I'll pick the Sixers.
How about the Knicks though? Too beating the shit out of Cavs.
Yeah, that
was crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't like Cleveland fans, but it made me feel good for the Cavs.
What?
Just being as good as they were.
Yeah, you said that last episode, but I just think it was crazy because the Knicks don't have like any like star player or anything. They have a bunch of
RJ
solid
Barrett
players.
Anymore, do they?
Yeah,
they do.
They have a bunch of solid players, but they just all have that dog in them. Right. Like they just all defend. They're all just gritty. Josh Hart was a huge get for them. Brunson's, I guess Brunson would be their star.
Yeah, Brunson's good.
But like they're just animals. Like they just play hard and like whoever's gonna get 20 and the rest throw in.
Yep.
You know,
and I feel like that's just as important. Like if you're not gonna have a star, you just have to have a deep team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you have just as much of a chance as a team with,
especially in the playoffs. Yeah, because like we've seen like the Warriors have a night where their shooting's off. It's tough. You know, like you can't rely on that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pick. I want the Kings. I'm gonna pick the Kings.
Kings are my second.
I arguably just want the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers can stay healthy. I think LeBron's too old. He's gonna get hurt at some point. I think Davis is too fragile. And the rest of that team is okay, but they're not special either. What?
One thing that I did forget, and I'm so excited that the Sixers have Mac McClung. And that
so anyway the Kings so anyway the Kings and then I'm gonna take I kind of want to take the Heat.
I would want to too.
All right, if we're going fun and we can adjust this next week, obviously my initial picks are gonna be Kings Heat.
Mine's Heat Warriors.
And I will. You're picking the Heat. You're changing.
Yes.
All right, we're both picking the Heat, and then you got the Warriors. I got the Kings, and then I'm gonna save it the Heat. I'm gonna give it to Butler. Right, as of right now, just because I'm picking the hot hand, I'm picking Jimmy Butler to win.
Simply because I'm still salty that the Sixers, because the stories that I read was that it was between Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris.
How much and the Sixers shit is Jimmy Butler going to talk if he plays the Sixers?
And the Sixers somehow landed on Tobias Harris. And I'm a Sixers fan, but I'm like, Jimmy, I hope you run through.
He's going to talk.
And he should. Much. He should.
I agree.
Like, dude.
All right, what you have some topics you brought?
Yes.
Okay.
It was dramatic.
I was considering giving you some bits to do too, so I might do that.
A couple bits. That'd be a good time.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pull out just the first two that are just kind of like softballs. Okay. Or do you want the strong one? Strong one.
With you, I don't know which one's which.
That's fair.
Just go ahead.
Okay. So there was a toddler who crawled through the fence of the White House.
Yes.
I thought that was I thought that was pretty crazy, just because, I mean...
Where were the parents?
They were outside, so apparently the child squeezed through the bars.
Was this child an agent? A spy?
Could have been. The parents could have.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, no, just accidentally go through there and film stuff.
We're going to put this bug that's in your hand that you're definitely going to drop when you're in there.
It's like the interview where he has the resin on his hand. You ever see the interview?
It's been a long time.
Okay. Go ahead.
It was a great movie. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And then they, like, shut down the area for a little while
have to, right?
to return the child.
What's weird to me is how often, not often, I guess, but there's been multiple instances of people either going through the White House or like getting onto the front lawn or whatever. What the hell is going on? Like, I'm just saying, like you said before the show, it's so secure.
Right.
How is this possible?
Right.
Like, how does this happen? Why is the fence a toddler can fit through?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
What is that?
Easy.
Not the 1800s.
No. No, it's not. 2,500 hopeful sheep ran across an Idaho,
Sorry,
Idaho highway.
Like a radio producer. Oh, by the way, 2,500.
Well, that was the headline. I was just like, that is great.
Hopeful sheep.
It's a great headline.
Get your AP thing off of there.
No, I'm trying to
decline. You have to sign up to read the story.
Well, no. Hopeful sheep cross the Idaho highway.
Why are they hopeful?
I don't know. Hopefully to get to the other side. I don't know.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's riveting. And I like how it says that 300 people stopped and took pictures. It was the most.
Did they count the people?
Apparently, just said 300 people stopped to take pictures. I was like, I have so many questions.
Okay.
So this is on a highway.
Lucky for you, I am a sheep expert.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is on a highway. So so did they just stop in the middle of the highway? Did they pull off?
The people?
Yeah.
Well, the first few stop. This is a common occurrence. You let the sheep go through. The sheep start going through. You're going to stop. You're not going to want to try to go through 2,500 sheep. You know, that just kind of makes sense.
Fair point.
So once the first few stop, it kind of slowly backs up, and then you got to walk up to see what's going on. Next thing you know, you got 300 people. We sold tickets last year. Made $10,000.
That'd be a smart idea. $5, please. You can get up and close in person.
Come look at these fucking sheep migrating.
It's a lot of them.
Pretty cool.
So I think I think that was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
That
is nuts.
What are you doing? What are you doing when there's that many
They're interviewing a sheep. What are you doing?
What are you doing here? What's the plan? What's the plan once you get to the other side?
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
I go plot twist. They all got hit. There's an 18-wheeler that just came through.
There's just one truck that doesn't see him.
Cleared out about 800 of them. It was bad.
But the rest are very hopeful.
The rest are very hopeful. Scarred.
Is that what they mean by hopeful? Just like, I hope I don't get hit? Like, what are you trying to put yourself in the mind of a sheep?
And I'm just like, what are they going to do when they get to the other side?
Why are they building these highways in sheep territory?
It's a very good point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
These are questions.
Yeah, and it's like...
Let's call a sheep farm.
Oh my God, please do it. What do you think about the 2,500 sheep in Idaho?
Does it say...
Does it say?
Give me an area.
The area that it was at.
Next story. Yeah.
It was in Idaho. Oh,
where in Idaho?
I'm pulling it up. I was in the wrong one.
I need to find
Boise. It was in Boise.
Oh, Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, Boise, Idaho. And so I'm like, man, that's just wild, as we always say. And then the third story, while you're looking that stuff up.
Oh shit! There's a time difference if we're going out to Idaho.
How
probably
big?
Too early.
How big?
I don't know. Hold on.
It's only going to be a couple hours. At most 4, and it's still 8 a.m.
Yeah, but are places open at 8 a.m. on a Saturday?
Well, it's 12:10, so...
Can we just... The city of Idaho.
They would
Let's
probably
just call
open
it a
it.
city.
What do you have to say about this? There's an old...
Can we talk to a sheep? Can you...
Can you put me in contact with a sheep farmer in Idaho? So, this next story, there was a New Orleans student who had scholarship offers that surpassed $9 million. Incredible. And this guy, $9 million. He's a 16-year-old and he's a senior. GPA of 4.98. Here I was happy with just a 3.2 in high school. That guy has...
You were a 3.2?
I think it was a 3.2. Yeah, I know. Earned he already has 27 college credits. And he's a senior in high school.
How does that even happen?
College courses.
I know, but like...
I don't know. It's impressive. Has scholarship offers from around 130 universities. that totaled more than $9 million. Like, that's incredible.
It really is.
Good for him.
Good work there.
Yeah, no doubt. He should probably be a rocket scientist. His name was Dennis Barnes. Good job, Dennis. That was very impressive.
Shout out to Dennis.
Thank you for calling Oppenheimer Company.
Oh, my God. You can never just talk to a person.
Is this a big sheep farm?
No, I'm trying to find like just a business, but I want... Oh. Here's a farm supply store. I'm trying to decide if we should record it separate in case
Fresh and Boise?
What?
We can always cut it out.
That's true. What are you doing?
Overland D&B, this is Nick. How can I help you?
Hi, Nick. I have a podcast here. I just had a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So you're in Boise, Idaho, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We saw a story about 2,500 sheep crossing a highway there. Do you know anything about that?
I don't.
No. Is like a sheep crossing a highway a common occurrence out there?
What's going across?
Sheep. Apparently sheep, some sort of farm animals, were like shunned down a highway in Boise.
Haven't heard anything.
Huh, so that doesn't make big news there.
Right.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
All right. What's so Boise, Idaho? What's like the are you guys like a busy store there?
We're pretty busy.
Okay. So but if we were to maybe do a show out there, like would we be able to sell it out, you think?
Probably.
Okay. Well, tell you what, Nick, we're going to send some gear your way from the 3 Dot Podcast. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you have a good day.
Yep, you too. Boise, Idaho has the nicest people.
Nick was the nicest
ready.
guy. He was ready.
He didn't know anything about the story, which is kind of a shame. But
I truly think that we should send, because we got that
we have the store.
We have the store.
I'm
we
gonna
should
send
address
just
to Nick.
Nick at the supply store.
Sincerely, Nick of the 3 Dot Podcast.
So how does this become a national story, but people within Boise, Idaho don't know
I don't know.
about it?
It's fascinating. You go, the Associated Press knows all about this story. Why
I know.
don't you guys?
I didn't want to grill him because he was such a nice guy.
I know.
And then I ran out of questions because I didn't expect him. That's the first time someone's actually wanted to have a conversation.
As sad as it is, and that's the thing, he answered every single one, and then he
very casual, very cordial.
Then when he was like, "Yeah, we're pretty busy. We're busy."
Yeah,
store.
well, I wanted to ask about that too, but I was rattled by the fact that he was still there. I also love that I'm like, hey, I have a podcast. No details. I have a podcast. I have a couple questions. Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
All right.
Fire away.
Shoot.
And then the fact that there was such a long pause, and I'm like, he hung up, and then he's
Me
just
too.
like, he's
Me
like,
too.
I'm sorry, what was that? And I'm like,
what was
oh my
crossing?
gosh.
So
I'm like, this guy's
So here's what we're gonna do: is I'm gonna save that number, and anytime we have a question now, we're gonna call. We're gonna call Nick and get Nick. We'll ask for Nick and get his opinion.
You'd be like, Nick, it's Nick from the 3 Dot Pod.
I wanted to do that too. I was literally just so rattled because off the bat he was so friendly.
I was so close to being like, your name's Nick.
Well, I also almost lost it because you're like laying down, trying not to laugh. Nick's a good guy. He would have been fine if you laughing.
He was a great guy.
You should call back and have you talk about. Hey, I'm the producer for that podcast, but just called.
Hey Nick, 3 Dot Podcast here, and so I'm just calling.
I'm gonna send him a shirt.
So I'm just calling
The
about
first
the
merchandise.
I'm just calling about the merch that we're gonna send you.
What
What's your
size?
shirt size?
You want to do that? Do you want to do it right now, or do you think we'd be pushing it?
I don't know. I think we might be pushing it.
We are definitely gonna send him a shirt. And
We
a sticker
definitely
up.
are.
We're gonna be the biggest show in Boise.
We're gonna have multiple listeners in Boise, Idaho, and it's all because of Nick.
I'm trying to look.
Should we send him
This
multiple
looks
shirts?
like a busy store.
Multiple
No,
shirts.
we'll send him a few shirts
Yeah.
and some stickers. Let him post them
He
up.
sounded like a medium.
Based off what? Based off what?
The deepness of the voice, greatness. Granted, sometimes
Wouldn't that be a large?
Yeah, but it wasn't like crazy deep.
I'm just
moderate.
blown away. His friendliness disarmed me. I didn't have any more questions ready for him.
I'd send a small, a medium, and a large.
Send 3 different shirts.
Just cover the bases.
What if he's next out after all that?
You can send an XL also. Then he can just give it to his friends.
It's true. I'm just trying to think if we should call and ask for his size. I feel like he would answer.
He probably would answer.
Want to try it?
You want to give it a shot?
All right. This is gonna be you. Don't laugh.
I think
Phil?
I'll laugh.
You're a producer of this show right now. I'm getting you into character. You're the producer of this show. You're calling to follow up with Nick. Once you get Nick on the phone, hey, what size shirt do you wear? So we know what to send, and we'll send it to your store. You can do that.
I can do
I
that.
believe in you. This is your first run. We're just going to trial run. Get a little closer. You ready?
Yeah.
You're a producer for the 3 Dot Podcast.
Overland D&B Supplies, Isaac, may I help you?
Hello, is this Nick?
No, I can get you to him, though.
Yes, please. Thank you.
That's exactly what I want.
Thanks for your patience.
Oh, my God.
Here at D&B Supply, we hold you
This
in
is
high
great.
regard. And we thank you kindly for holding
Boise,
on a bit
man.
for us, too. Our store
What do you think this
hours
guy's
are
thinking?
Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6
How old do you think
p.m.
Nick is? He sounded young. Boise, though. I'm just really impressed with
D&B is stocked
Customer
up for folks who
service.
live in and love the West. Whether you have
In the
100
West.
head of
We're in
cattle
the
roaming
West.
in wide open places,
This is Nick. How can I help you?
Hi, Nick. My name's Phil, and I'm actually with the 3 Dot Podcast that had actually just reached out to you earlier. And we had mentioned that we actually wanted to try to give you some merchandise. And I was just wondering, what is your shirt size? Because we would definitely like to send you a shirt.
I'm a medium.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We will definitely send that out to you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
For 2 things. 1, nailed it. Good job.
Thank you.
2, you were right on the medium. Also, why did he hesitate so much?
I
He
know.
was really nervous about the shirt thing.
He's like, what could they possibly be wanting to do with my shirt size?
Right. That's the thing. What, dude,
Oh my God! When he said medium, I should have said call it.
I almost did. What's also great here is like his whole day now is like, what the?
I'm
what?
gonna get
I'm
a
getting
3
shirt.
dot.
Why is this podcast calling me?
This is great.
No, this is great. This is our first success. This is what I had in mind when I started the show.
This is so awesome.
So we were gonna the first merchandise of 3 Dot is going to Nick
To
in
Nick
Boise,
in Boise,
Idaho.
Idaho. Congratulations, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, big shout out to you.
Nick, I don't even have a shirt yet.
Literally the first piece of merchandise ever is going
This
to
is
Boise,
so
Idaho.
great.
And we have the store, and we'll just address it.
We
to
should get
Nick.
a customized shirt
Should we
and
s-
make it say Boise on it.
No, we should say Nick.
Nick. You probably should say
And,
Nick.
we'll address it Nick the medium. All right, that was a phenomenal way to end the show.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
actually very.
I've never
excited
been
about
happier.
that. I know. There's a different energy now.
We both did great.
Oh, thank you, Phil. No, you nailed it. You were
Nick,
nervous.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. I'm pretty good on the phone, but it's like I'm nervous up until the point.
Right.
And then I can deliver.
Right.
I kind of just had to be thrown into the fire.
All right, now
I'm proud of Nick.
do the same thing, except now you're Denzel Washington, who just watched Finding Nemo, and you have to save this fish, and you're on the phone with someone. Go.
So, I'm aware that you are in possession of a clownfish.
I'm sorry. Just the eyebrow raise as you said it.
What is the size of that fish? Is it small?
It's a medium.
It's a medium fish. All right, yeah, that checks out. What about the fins? What are they? What do they look like?
Is this an interrogation?
What are they?
I don't have a clownfish.
Is one gimpy? Is there a gimp fin?
Gimp fin?
Yes, because Nemo has one.
I really like the dedication to the role. I'm just so happy about Nick. I can't.
I was still in character.
I know you were. I was amazed you just threw yourself into it. So you think Denzel would be angry about that? He'd be.
He's given
shaking. So if you're Denzel, you just start shaking people down, asking if they've seen clownfish.
Well, yeah, haven't you seen Man on Fire? He killed multiple people just trying to find that child.
He killed multiple people in most of his movies.
You're right.
Remember the Titans? Killed so many people.
So many people. And you don't think he would do that for a fish? For a fish, at the very least, he would interrogate people and try to scare them over the phone.
You're probably right. You're right on that.
Then he'd just come right in there with a big old bag, whip it
Scoop
out,
it out.
scoop out Nemo.
He'd come right in there with a big old bag and whip it out.
Yep, whip
Okay.
it out, scoop up Nemo, and then just
Then
for
Kill
good measure, he'd pull out a 45.
Shoot Nemo?
No,
Oh.
the owner
Okay.
who made him
The
wait
dentist.
on the phone.
Not Nick though.
Not Nick.
Nick won't make you wait.
Nick was great.
I'm so happy. All
I'm
right, so
so
we're
happy
gonna
too.
make that
This is
sure.
great.
All right. This has been the 3 Dot Podcast, episode 24, I believe. And we're definitely gonna clip that call to Nick.
Yes.
And put that in a short.
Good
But,
for Nick.
Yeah.
the
good
whole
for
thing.
Nick. Yeah. Well, no, it's got to be a certain length.
Well, I mean, we can clip out the part and then just put the two together of like me calling him back and getting the shirt size.
That's true.
That'd be a good.
It
clip.
wasn't an interesting call, but just his demeanor made it.
He's so nice.
No, that's Boise, man. They got some nice people out there.
Shout out Boise.
Shout out Boise. We are now a Boise podcast.
I'm gonna buy a Boise State jersey now. Kellen Moore.
Statue of Liberty, baby. This has been the 3 Dot Podcast. We will see you next week.